Hi YouTube! Today I wanted to share a technique with you that I find to be very, very valuable when you're trying to develop your artistic skills. So I've been drawing all my life, and I've taken art classes since high school, and I've been in college for drawing and painting for a good while. But this technique is something that I didn't really learn from college or high school or anything. It was discussed, but it was never taught to me. So it's something that I definitely had to self-teach and research on the internet. I am not perfect at it, so there's the disclaimer, but it is incredibly helpful advice. So I want to share it and pass it on because I think it is something that can definitely help people get out of artistic ruts or just to loosen up and help develop your skills. So this technique is called automatic drawing or autonomous drawing, and it's really, really important, and it's something that you can do anywhere, anytime, on anything, and it will hopefully, if you do it enough and you're doing it correctly, translate into your more finished art pieces. So this term, automatic drawing, actually comes from the Surrealists. Fun fact. They defined it as a way to express the subconscious. I personally see it as a form of meditation, and it really helps me relax and reset my brain if I'm feeling stuck with drawing. If I'm having a bad drawing day, I'll typically just turn to this, that way I can get out of this rut. So you could basically scribble on a piece of paper and call it automatic drawing, but there is an effective way to use this technique and get better at it, believe it or not. So I'm going to talk about that right now. I think the method that I have found most effective with this technique is using your shoulder and your arm to draw rather than your wrist, because I feel like whenever we're drawing we tend to tighten up and use our wrists, but it's very important to practice using your arm movements and your shoulder movement and not tighten up and be very loose. So if you do that and you practice it enough, you'll have looser drawings, and then you won't be so focused on one part of the drawing. You'll see the bigger picture and you won't tighten up. I don't necessarily think that this pertains just to drawing. I think this is very, very important for painting too, because some of the best paintings I have seen tend to be less tight, more loose, more autonomous with their mark making, and it's not just a very rendered, blended piece of work, you know what I mean? So it's really important to remember that we're trying to reach a meditative automatic state of drawing. So when you're drawing, don't think too much, just feel. Maybe pay attention to the rhythm of your movements, that's helpful. I think it's really important to pay attention to the different marks that you're making and the quality of line, your pen pressure or whatnot. And it's also really important to observe the rhythm or the tempo in which you're drawing, so you can try to train your brain into making quick artistic decisions. But try not to analyze your decision making during the drawing. So it's really more beneficial to you to reflect on these things afterwards. So when you're done, look at the drawing as a whole. Try to recognize patterns, shapes, things that you're repeating, and then try to determine whether the rhythm and the flow, the tempo, works or not. Is the composition good? Look at all of those artistic elements afterwards. It's really, really important to not be afraid of making ugly drawings and paintings. You're going to make a ton of ugly, convoluted drawings, but it's completely okay. The point is to not strive for perfection. The point is to not create a final piece for your portfolio. The point is to allow your brain to purge all of its hidden bad habits that you just keep repeating over and over and over again in your artwork in hopes of developing a new type of artistic flow with better design choices in your future artwork. I hope that this video helped you in some way and gave you some insight into what automatic drawing can do for you and how to practice it. There are a ton of videos on YouTube. I think there's a really good one by Proco where he goes more in depth about how to do it and the effects of it. But this should help all of the elements of art for you in your compositions. It should help composition, flow, line control, weight, all of that good stuff. It's not gonna help you with things like color or whatever, but it'll help your confidence. Therefore, you can like draw quicker, paint quicker, and your lines will just look more confident. The more you practice this, the more confident your lines will be. So I urge you to do it. And it's a lot of fun too, because it's like a pressure-free way of drawing. Sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as artists to make these very specific drawings that we set out to do, and this will help with those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm probably gonna upload more drawing videos like this, and I would appreciate it if you really checked out the rest of my channel and hit the subscribe button and maybe the little notification button, you know. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them as best as I can. Thank you so much. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.